Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, February 21, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We will be having a time for change call tomorrow night, 9 p.m. We're going to be covering the subject of mirroring, what that means to civilization. And also we're going to talk about the content of all the monetary structures and their purpose currently on the planet, and the definition of them, and the meaning and reason why they are in present view. In truth, you are spirit. The body has been projected by the mind, which itself originates from the spirit. If the wrong identification ceases, there will be peace and permanent, indescribable bliss. Ramana Maharishi. In truth, we are spirit. The body has been projected by the mind, which itself originates from the spirit. If the wrong identification ceases, there will be peace and permanent, indescribable bliss. The greatest discovery in this life is knowing how to be completely at peace, no matter what occurs. This takes mastery, yet is also easy enough for any teenager to do. When we are living fully in this real 3D world, truly open, honest, and intimate with others, we will be forced into a deep discovery of peace. The secret is knowing how to be completely non-attached to whatever you find, because again, everything is an emanation of the mind. This world is real and unreal. It's like a 3D dream. An overflowing abundance of peace, love, and prosperity. Consciousness is inside you at the core of your being. There is no need to look outside your body for it. An overflowing abundance of peace, love, and prosperity consciousness is inside you at the core of your being. There is no need to look outside your body for it. Everything on the outside is a distraction from this source. This discovery is the golden path to the ultimate life. It is found instantly by making the simple decision to look within. Not just a glance here or there, but a constant looking. An introspection that bubbles moment to moment with inquisitive curiosity. Be constantly curious about yourself, and you'll soon discover how to get beyond the traffic of your mind. When we look inside of ourselves, know that there is nothing to be afraid of. All we will find are thoughts. It's all a bunch of thoughts. Everything we experience is made up of thoughts. The only reason we suffer ever is because we forget these thoughts are not real. When we get attached to them, they seem real, yet are not. Attach only to what's real, and all suffering fades away. What is real? You, the God in that body, is the only thing that's really real. because it doesn't change. That which is real does not change. That which is unreal changes constantly. It's good to remember that this thought you're thinking right now is merely an electrical impulse bursting in between your ears. Now it's gone, and a new one has arrived. It is a constant, continual flow. When we try to hold on to any one of these bursts, it's like forcing ourselves to hold our finger on an electric fence. Simply let go and look towards where the source of this energy is, where all these thoughts are coming from. Only from discovering the roots can you understand the tree. Now, if you want to take the super fast track to deep inner peace, try this out. Stop doing everything how you normally do it and simply practice letting everything be as it is. Okay? Stop doing everything how you normally do it and simply practice letting everything be as it is. As you're doing what you normally do, this will help you to look with gentle eyes on yourself, this world, and everyone in it. Stop doing everything how you normally do it and simply practice letting everything be as it is, as you're doing what you normally do. This will help you to look with gentle eyes on yourself, the world, and everyone in it. Be quick to accept yourself and others, and be very slow to criticize. Try to understand others instead of needing them to understand you. Let go of having to be right and choose instead to be free. Practice just what you've read in this one paragraph that I just read, and you'll feel the dramatic change begin to occur. Love and centering are one phenomenon. They are not two. If you have known love, you cannot be anything but centered. The very experience of love will make you centered. When you go on this inner quest, looking deep inside yourself, choose to be wild, free, and unguarded. Wild, free, and unguarded. This is the only way we will be able to unravel ourselves. See what is truly beneath your socialized conditioning. Don't stop at the mental chatter your mind regurgitates. Conditioning from childhood is deep and has created many contractions inside the body that we are all unaware of. This unawareness is what perpetuates the flow of negative, challenging thoughts and feelings. The only way to freedom is to bring total awareness to these hidden parts. The best way to find your hidden, contracted parts is to engage deeply in every relationship you have, especially the ones you're the most afraid of. Be deeply intimate with everyone. This is the only way any of us can intimately know ourselves and discover all of our hidden parts. Once we get to know ourselves, we will feel this ever-flowing current of stillness at our very core. This stillness arises from doing nothing. Focus on no thing as much as you can. Focus on no thing as much as you can. This life is not about accomplishing anything, unbeknownst to popular demand in this social structure currently on this planet. This life is not about accomplishing anything. It's about discovering our very enlightened nature, which is something we already are. How can we accomplish something we already are? Now, we can understand why so many spiritual seekers easily get confused. Why so many spiritual seekers easily get confused. Only when we can be intimately open and unguarded with everyone will we find total peace within. But the trick here with ourselves is when we are intimately open and unguarded with ourselves first before we can be with anyone else. It's really not hard to do. It's actually quite fun. Yet first, you must choose to truly dive into this core essence of you, through the muck in your mind, into the vast, deep presence. Only from this space will you find peace with everything and everyone in this world. This experience is always available if you are open, willing, and available to this universe. That's why practicing being unguarded is so profound. It allows us to intimately touch the entire creation. Life-changing peace happens instantly when we realize again and again and again that we are an eternal being who cannot die. We are an eternal being who cannot die. Let that sink in. An infinite soul who is ever presently aware and lives behind this roller coaster ride of thoughts rolling through our minds. Whatever our minds are thinking about, thinks is vastly important, is constantly worrying about, is simply not worth getting caught up in. This eternal being inside of us is much bigger and better than any thought or experience any of us will ever have. Focus on that, because what you focus on energizes, grows, and expands. Ask yourself, what are you afraid of? What are any of us afraid of? Deep, everlasting peace happens when we can approach our fears with an authentic smile. When we can look each fear in the face and say, thank you. With love in our hearts, we've mastered it. Take on each fear as if it was your long-lost brother or sister who has strayed from home. Simply point it back to the light of your being, where pure stillness resides, and this contracted, non-relaxed state will dissolve in time. Your 24-hour assignment for the next 24 hours from now, remember that you are inherently good. For the next 24 hours, remember that you are inherently good. There is nothing bad, wrong, or evil about you. Your thoughts are not a reflection of who you are. They never have been, never will be, ever, beyond, and forever. Passing clouds cannot change the vastness of the sky. Turn your attention inside towards your natural state of goodness. This is not something that you're good at or something you did that was good. Now, if you can write it down, it can appear or disappear, so it doesn't count, or so it does count. This goodness is this eternal consciousness that abides in the eternal gap between our thoughts. This goodness that we naturally are is permanent. There is nothing we can do about it. Our purpose is to discover it, respect it, honor it, and share it, so that we can know it. Knowing our inherent permanent goodness brings about an unstoppable joy. Experiencing this joy brings a taste of total freedom. Knowing ourselves as this unbounded, joy-filled freedom is the gateway to bliss and absolute inner peace. So you have fun with it. There's something extremely magical happening right now in this very moment of our lives. We may not be aware of it or care to take notice, yet it is here, and it continues to go on being magical all the time. It happens so frequently that it can seem normal, obvious, typical, which is why we might tend to overlook it every day. Yet, truly, this magical thing is more amazing than the mind can fully believe or comprehend. This miraculous thing I'm talking about is your life, and it is happening inside of you, through you, to you, and for you, right now. There is a perpetual creation of the experience of you occurring, just for you, to enjoy you. There's not much you can do about it. The best thing to do is to just let go and completely surrender yourself to the experience. On a physical level, there are millions of miniature life-giving processes happening inside of our bodies right now. There are energies that are keeping our heart beating, lungs breathing, hair growing, teeth from decaying, and allowing our hearts to relax and sleep tonight. Our diaphragm is pulling in a continual flow of oxygenating energy into our lungs, while our bodies are pumping blood to trillions of cells, lovingly transporting the great river of life-giving energy to every cell throughout our bodies. In this moment, as you are sitting here in this meditation, billions of brain cells are being engaged in understanding these concepts. It is only in this now moment that we can find this miraculous experience called life and discover where it's coming from. When we stop to appreciate all of the wonderful things that are occurring in our lives, this highly sensitive extrasensory perception begins opening within us. We begin feeling and sensing the divinity that is behind every breath and heartbeat. This deep sensitivity increases the point where we can feel the vibrant matrix of intelligence that is weaving itself through all thoughts and things. It's amazing what a little appreciation for this life can open up in all of us. When we start to be grateful for all the little things that we usually take for granted, we can then begin to see, smell, taste, and hear the deeper meaning of our existence. It becomes possible to actually know on a spiritual level why we are here. And what is the true meaning of our lives? We see that everything that is happening around us is actually a miracle, because we realize that we, all of us, are a miracle. Perhaps one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is the experience of conscious awareness. We can watch the mind think, perceive, make up all sorts of explanations about ourselves and our lives. We can see that when we make the slightest, most subtle shift in our perception of reality, our entire attitude and exploration of life changes. Our body responds differently to the stimuli that it once believed was threatening, and we find an entirely new reason for being alive. The mind is the greatest inventor of lies. It never actually sees the truth in all its perfection. It can only see fragments of the truth, catch a glimpse of it here and there, and try to capture it with some fixed yet random creative expression. It is always making up stories about other people, the world, yourself, and the way that life is. It makes these enormous, glorious assumptions to courageously capture the truth and fit it into a beautiful box that others can appreciate and praise. Yet the truth is too big for the mind to contain. The truth is everything in this universe that is here now. The mind can only hold on to two things, the past and the future. The mind cannot just be here now in the present. The moment the mind completely surrenders into the burning fire of the now, all grasping disappears, and all of our suffering created by the mind is gone. The singer exists only in singing. The walker exists only in walking. So is the ego. The ego exists only in clinging, in possessing things, in dominating things. When there is no domination, no desire to dominate, no desire to cling, no desire to possess, the ego begins evaporating also. If and when you wish to experience the truly miraculous being that you are and get a real taste of this amazing life that is yours to enjoy, you must choose to drop the mind. You must choose to give up completely and let go of all clinging to its righteous beliefs and ways of thinking. That is the only way to be truly alive. Otherwise, you're just living in tomorrow or yesterday, missing out on this wondrous moment of life. The true you can only be found there, in this now moment. And one day, this body and mind will truly be gone, which is why this experience of our lives are so very, very, very precious. And yes, your life is so precious. Take the time today to truly enjoy being here, right now, and totally alive. How often do you appreciate the opportunity you have just to experience what it is like to be alive? This appreciation is your ticket to freedom. It is the main vehicle for liberating yourself from the mind and its many prisons. To see, feel, and smell the divinity within all things, you must choose to drop all attachment to the mind and its entanglements. You must choose to merge with it. Find peace with the mind within you. Just imagine that you are the sun, and the mind is a small, hard comet heading towards you, about to get burned up in the sun's sacred fire. So my invitation for you all right now is enormous. Stop trying to get anywhere. Just drop the mind and see how much you can really enjoy this day, that you are still alive in this very moment. You are still here. Who knows about the next moment? Remember this. Choose to do everything you can to be radically alive. My request here is not that you try and push yourself further into your known list of sensory pleasures, mental distractions, or physical addictions. I'm challenging you to go deeper into your aliveness, your spiritual nature, and find a deeper, more authentic joy inside of you. One that contains a deep healing relaxation within it. I want you to find the peace that is within your soul. It is here now, and it will help you transcend every hidden anxiety and self-sabotaging behavior you have had. I want you to become so alive, so vibrating with life, that you suddenly realize that you cannot hold on to all your worries and fears, that they are no longer your priority. Imagine how it would feel to be so relaxed and excited about your life, living in this magical body-mind vehicle you are in, that you forget all insecurity and fear. What if the main reason of our lives was to do this? What if finding absolute unending joy was as simple as being fully here now, welcoming this sacred moment and whatever the experience is giving you? What if the goal of your life was to cherish yourself in each precious moment, as if this was the first or last moment of your life? How would you live this day differently if this was your truth? One must have chaos in oneself in order to give birth to a dancing star. Friedrich Nietzsche. Did you know the transition of the word sin? We could go over this. It's very important to know this in your heart minds. All it means is to miss the target. I see that life is like a game of darts, where the bullseye target is being fully here, in this now moment. This is where the divinity, your divine essence, is found. It is the only place and space it is discovered. So why be anywhere else? It is just the habit of the mind to be somewhere other than here now. When we take our eyes off the target for an instant, we miss the goal of our lives completely. When we are relaxed, open, present, and fully surrendered to what is here now, we can trust life, enjoy being held by life, and hit the target each time. The one thing that will always bring us into the now is our body and our breath. Practice listening to your body intimately. And feel into how it is breathing into you this week. Really listen. What is it telling you? The body does not lie. and it is going to clue you in on an entire collaboration of vital information that you really need to know. Listen super closely, as if it were whispering to you from a place very far away. Notice what is the one message it has for you right now. It is pointing you inside, deeper inside, to the point of absolute relaxation, totally dissolving all tension, where you can find real inner peace. It is through your body that you will find the real you, who is forever intimately connected with this universe. When we practice listening to our bodies, letting go of the chit-chat in our mind, we start to hear these subtle messages from the universe, this universe, that guides us through the daily matrix of this life. This universe will show us how to get through this life, how to navigate our way into finding heaven on earth. The God that we are within this body is the heaven. The earth is the body. This is our purpose for being here. To find heaven is here in this now moment. When we deeply relax into ourselves, into our lives exactly as they are, we can discover the greatest miracle of all. We can trust that we are on the right path in every moment of our existence. We just see, feel, and deeply accept that we cannot get off the path no matter what we do. This is true because we are the path. You are the path. The path is before you, beneath you, and right where you are. Walking on the path, you see everyone as perfect, just the way they are. You begin noticing that everyone fits into the grand perfection, with all of their many imperfections, and realize the great miracle of them all is always here. Here, the most magical source of living is discovered. The real intimacy with this life. The meeting of the divine with the mundane. In every ordinary and extraordinary experience. Liberation is not very far away. It is just hidden behind us. Once we are authentic, the door opens. We can be such liars, pretenders, hypocrites, so deeply false. That's why we feel liberation is very far away. It is not. For an authentic being, liberation is just natural as anything. Okay. It is necessary to make our mind a prayer. The heart full of love, and every breath a melody of devotion. Then the soul becomes a glorified song of compassion, mercy, understanding, and humility. Annalise Guerin. One of the most beautiful experiences in this life is the feeling of devotion. When we are truly devoted, we've released the selfish agenda of our egos and are surrendered to something much greater than ourselves. We've given up every imperative need to get something back in return for our practice of giving and are simply enjoying the sensation of being liberated from our perpetual list of demands and needs. You could say that the greatest lovers in this world are those who can relax into the deepest feeling of devotion within their heart, which is attuned to a love that transcends all conditions, agendas, and limitations. The energy of devotion can take on many, many, many forms. We can be devoted to a lifestyle, a person, a way of being, a project, or even achieving a desired goal. The difference between being devoted and committed to something is within the quality of the experience. Commitment is more of a mental excursion, while devotion is a journey through the heart. Through devotion, there is this continual undercurrent of love, which flows through every thought, feeling, and word uttered. The love it radiates holds this juicy, heart-opening quality, connecting our minds to our souls, allowing us to taste the luscious flavor of our own divine existence. When we practice being in the energy of devotion, we are feeding the heart with a joy that has no end to it. This ultimately brings real satisfaction into our lives. Feeling that great longing and yearning we each have for the everlasting joy we feel is missing inside. Real devotion is one of the greatest discoveries to finding our spiritual freedom in this lifetime. The feeling of it alleviates our suffering instantly, as it allows every action to feel sacred and aligned with our life purpose. It is the most essential nutrient necessary to create a truly exquisite life that is deeply fulfilling on all levels. The highest reward for an act of kindness is not what you get by doing it, but what you become by doing it. The highest reward for an act of kindness is not what you get by doing it, but what you become by doing it. One of the grand challenges with choosing a life of devotion is that we may fear losing ourselves in the beliefs, heart, mind, or life of our beloved. We might fall into some codependent relationship, feeling an addiction to them, where we may become obsessed by a need for their approval of our every action, belief, and life decision. In this unhealthy state, our beloved becomes like the sun. We become like the earth, revolving around them. When we remember that we are the sun, and our beloved is just another sun spirit we've met along the way, we can feel that they are actually revolving around our lives as well. From this perspective, we experience what a healthy, devoted relationship is like. And these two bodies gravitationally spin around each other in a natural, respectful, meaningful, and magnetic way. In a healthy state of devotion, we are seeing the bigger picture. Our feet are rooted in the ground beneath us, and our branches are extended up, out into the stars. We are not clinging to anyone or anything. We are relaxed in our own essence, feeling alive, conscious, and appreciating each moment of this existence. There is a great reverence each day we have to be in relationship with our beloved. We know it all can end at any moment, and thus never take it for granted. There is a solid feeling of connection to the love shared without depending on it to find the love within ourselves. You see? In this healthy state of devotion, we feel connected with everyone and everything in our world. Love is one of the most dangerous explorations in this life because it is the most rewarding. In order to experience real love, we must choose to completely lose ourselves to it. We must become so devoted to the real feeling of love, the essence of love, that is free from attachment, fear, and possession. We must choose to walk that very fine line between losing ourselves in a healthy or unhealthy way in a devoted relationship. We must take the risk to see ourselves as the beloved as the beloved sees us. And know that it is our innocent hearts we are longing to connect with when the day finally comes to an end. As long as our relationship with ourselves remains the main priority, as long as our relationship with ourselves remains the main priority, we will remain in a healthy state of devotion. We will be aligned to our soul's purpose, and thus be able to show up with the greatest love to give. When we live in fear of losing ourselves to our beloved, there is this clinging to our egos, and we end up resisting love, fearing its power, and then not allowing our egos to surrender fully into it. As long as the ego remains in control, love will be kept on the sideline. When we can realize that our heart is the main source of love, the infinite source of love itself, we can share this love endlessly and stop withholding it from others in our lives. As we walk on the path of devotion, we might discover how the ego is an absolute genius at missing the truth. It cannot imagine that there is a bigger love to experience on the inside than what it thinks is on the outside. It is only through exploring total devotion to our soul, our spirit, and infinite self that the sacred meeting of deep eternal love is discovered between you and your beloved. This is the one vital truth to be realized that will let a continual stream of joy flow through our lives. When we surrender completely to this infinite source that connects our heart, our soul, we will always rise and fall in love with our beloved. Then we can relax fully into the devotional experience. We are free from the fear of codependency and are no longer worried about becoming lost in the mind and the life of our beloved. We become so rooted in the exploration of deep eternal love within ourselves that we can allow ourselves to take risks, love deeper, be foolish in how much you love, and continuously fall further into love with your beloved over and over again. As you dissolve into love, your ego fades. You're not thinking about loving. You're just being loved, radiating like the sun, Ram Dass. Every one of us wishes we had the courage to live a life overflowing with an abundance of joy and love. Yet to reach this level of love means we must choose to surrender through every fear we are gripping onto. We must let go of control and trust that love is the greatest guide we will ever find. We must choose to devote our entire heart, mind, to the idea and feeling of being in love with ourselves and our lives. This is the place where the heart never ever closes down for any reason whatsoever. When we are truly devoted to ourselves, to finding the greatest love within our own hearts, we find that love was always there, always waiting to show us the way home. The other big issue everyone comes eventually across is that the ego is the most tenacious master of resisting love. It is always cautious and skeptical about falling in love and feels devotion is only for the weak and the needy. The ego simply doesn't trust love, because if it felt what love really was, it would die. It would have to give up all its strategies for protecting itself from love and learn the path of surrender. The ego only knows control and separation, me versus you, and avoids falling into the ultimate state of love at all costs because it knows it has no control in that space. The more we can surrender to trusting love, the more we will find that love pours into every wounded crack and crevice hidden in our being. It is only through giving up our attachment to our egos that we can find what real love is all about. We must choose to lose our small selves to discover our big selves, which is constantly growing and evolving in love, always being reborn, fresh and new. At the highest level of awareness, all devotion is devotion to the self. The self is omnipresent, alive, and conscious within all beings. When you know this, see this, and honor this truth, you simply give up all limited approaches to love and upgrade it for this higher version of reality. From this space, we can be totally devoted to a partner, friend, child, family, or any person for that matter. We then can lose ourselves completely in that experience because we know that ultimately it is a form of devotion to who we truly are. There is no separation from ourselves and our beloved. Our beloved is our perfect mirror, reflecting back to us all the multidimensional aspects inside ourselves that we cannot see. It is through seeing the oneself, realizing its awesome power, that we can stop being afraid of devotion. It is our devotion to this highest state of awareness, seeing the oneself in all beings, that actually enables us to be free. We are no longer limited by our expression, bound by our beliefs, or stuck in suppression. In devotion to the one, we gain access to the deepest levels of joy, freedom, and truth. We are no longer fearing love, yet only in gratitude and reverence of it. This sacred relationship allows us to reveal our highest life purpose and direction. It is only from this place that real love, everlasting happiness is found. This state of being knows that this life is truly perfect just as it is. And there is absolutely nothing we need to do to make it better in any possible way. Be lamps unto yourselves. Be refuges unto yourselves. Look not for a refuge in anyone besides yourselves. Buddha, the Enlightened One. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close the session. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And take an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still. The invitation today for all of us is to sit with whatever it is that's troubling us in our lives. Whatever our problem, worry, or concern is, just sit with it and within it until you have found peace. Do not move a muscle until you are truly okay with yourself on the deepest levels and no longer disturbed by this life challenge. Unhappiness perpetuates when we don't meet issues face to face, when we don't think we are bigger than the issue we avoided. The truth is, what can be bigger than the soul that you are? Whenever something difficult that arises, and you take the time to sit and embrace it, you are not trying to change it, but merely understanding what its real purpose is on a beneficial level. Approach that hardness, which is bubbling up from within you, with a sweet curiosity. When you meet any negative energy, ask it immediately, who are you? What are you? Why? What are you here to teach me? What could you possibly need to learn at this stage of your life? It most likely has something to do with what you are here to receive. Asking the difficult parts inside you some questions will take you deeper inside yourself, where you will find the solutions to whatever you're facing. It is always best to relax and trust in this process. And the more we can relax, the easier it becomes to continue embracing these difficult parts that are here to help us grow, enlighten, and mature. We will always find our most empowered selves residing at the deepest core issue inside. Take this with you for the rest of the day and to the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call. Be kind, generous, humble with yourselves at all times. Be in deep eternal gratitude at all times.